Hello, neighbors. This is Matt from Unbearable 73. So tonight, or today, or whenever you're watching this, which for me is tonight, we'll be reviewing the penultimate episode of Reacher Season 2. This show has been great. There's no other way to say it. So, what happened with this episode is a transitional episode to obviously the final episode. That's what we call the penultimate episode. In it, all the plots have come together beforehand. There's still a few details to reveal, like where the missing member of the team is. And I think, and the senator's motivations, like, is he really like a sleazy good guy, or is something else going on there? So we'll have to see in that regard, right? I hope. Let's see. Yeah, but so we're set up for a big action-packed finale next week, basically after this episode. So let's just talk through it, and then maybe I'll have something else to say about it. So we open, of course, with the mother. This is a bit of a flashback right here. Let's get the subs on so you all can see. Okay. So now we've gotten past the last episode. The explosion happened. The mother and daughter, they're all in a motel room, and what's going to happen here is they have to figure out what the next step is, and what they're going to do with the mother and the daughter, and so forth. Right. It's a nice little bit of humor here. I don't know if we can catch it or not. One of the team members goes out and gets a bunch of candy bars. And, yeah, so the girl takes Reacher's Clark bar, which is kind of funny. A nice little lightning bit of deadpan humor, you know. So Reacher and Neely partner up, and they're going to get some information. They're going to check out the dirty lieutenant, whereas the other two are trying to get the mother and daughter off to a location where they won't be found by the murderous thugs. And dead on here, like, look, if you didn't know this in the first season, if you never read a Reacher book before, Reacher, when he decides to kill people, is going to kill people. Okay? It's in his morals are his highest set of laws. In other words, he's not a guy who says the law is the highest set of morals. His personal morals are the highest set. So I'm not going to show them all because I don't want to spoil it all. But even though you should be, I'm talking about the whole episode, so you should be watching this before you get to me, right? So you know every one of these guys, unless there's some intervening circumstance like their kid being present or them, he finds they're blackmailed or something like that, he's going to kill him, okay? So he kills this guy after getting a bit of information, how dirty he is. Tells him where that there's a survivor from the hit job. Takes him out, leaves the money basically, takes one chunk of money to pay off Neely, all the money she's paying for him. So just he leaves the money, doesn't, you know. This is the mother and daughter. This is this guy being set up sympathetically. I still think they're going to kill him off. I mean, I don't know if I didn't read the book, but everything, the signals are because they're making it over sympathize from being a family man, him caring about kids, blah, blah, blah. Either someone's going to die to save him, or he's going to be killed off. Now we have a big chunk in this episode of the conclusion of the flashback arc with the drug deal that Reacher busted that caused the end of the unit because they disobeyed his commanding captain, his commanding colonel, his commanding major. So Reacher basically Reacher says we're going to do this even though we've been ordered not to. I can't order you to do that. I'm not, but they all said we're going to back you up. Blah blah blah. And this is a really nice action sequence. Probably this is my favorite action sequence in this season so far. Is the 110 taking out all these bad guys. It really, whoever choreographed this showed real good combat choreography with how soldiers would fight against drug dealers who were highly trained drug dealers, but still drug dealers. And I love this scene here. And so this is the 110 knowing they're being shut down, preparing for it. You know, the commander comes in, the major comes in and expresses his ire against them that they personally assaulted him. You know. Now again, we get back to the future. So the past arc should all be over with now. Everything from here out, from the episode and the next episode, well, definitely in this episode, but hopefully next episode, there's no more past flashbacks. Now they're going to interrogate this guy. And you know going into this that this guy is dead, okay? We know that as fans, that Reacher is going to kill everyone who killed his men. And unless there's some sort of countering circumstance, like they have a kid present or they were blackmailed or something, you know they're going to be dead. And this torture he does to him with the Foley catheter, that is painful because even by accident sometimes that's happened. I've had a Foley before, and they had they overinflated it slightly. I think when I was conscious. So yeah, and he takes him out with an embolism. That's the Foley, the torture method, right? Then he takes him out with an embolism. And I believe that. See, there's a little bit of flaw here in that they would check hospital security cameras and catch two people walking out of the room right after the death. See, when you die in a hospital in pretty much every state in the union now, if you die in a hospital, okay, and it's not of natural causes, or you within 24 hours of leaving the operating room, even if it is of natural causes, you have a mandatory autopsy and a mandatory coroner's investigation into your death. So this guy's going to get autopsied, and they're going to review the video cameras to see anything that went on in that room because of liability issues, okay? So it's a little unbelievable that they would take these masks off before they got out of that building. That to me, but I work in a hospital and IT and all that, so that's why it's fishy to me. It might not be fishy to a general audience. This is a nicely fast-paced episode. That was a guy that chased him, who was sent by the antagonist, the T-1000, Robert Patrick, to take that guy out as a loose end. Neely finds him first, and Neely does something real neat. A lot of people people with woke derangement syndrome have been saying, "Oh, it's unrealistic to how the women fight," blah blah blah, in the show. Neely knows she's fighting a guy that's bigger than her, gets a weapon. Okay, women in this show have been consistent about getting weapons to deal with men, or when they're fighting men, unless they're vastly outskilled them, they get manhandled quite a bit, and only women with using a weapon or cheating or getting saved or fighting in groups. You know, Reacher comes on. Reacher's manhandles the dude like he's made of cheesecloth. And I like this how every time Reacher gets a phone from the bad guys, he calls up the colonel there. You know, I don't even know how I just keep thinking of him as the T-1000, Robert Patrick. I can't help it, and I gotta get his character name because it's stupid. You know, it's just stupid of me to keep not thinking of him that way. Reacher. Okay. Man. Main. Shane Langston. Okay. Okay, so Langston, every time he gets that burner phone, he calls Langston up and he mocks him, basically. Which he's doing is set him off, trying to hope he makes a mistake. Which Langston doesn't think he does, but he does, right? Like, there's a famous thing about who you never put in a trap from Doctor Who. You never put the Doctor in a trap. Well, you never put Reacher in a trap either, right? Yeah. So this is him trying to see. This is him trying to outsmart Reacher. And finally, they contact the Sayer to get some resources to help them on their final mission. Blah blah blah. Classic, you know. Reacher Neil is scouting out the facility where Reacher's going to surrender himself. Reacher gets inspired by some kids who are drunk and hanging out in a public field about a plan. You know, this is the handoff of the missiles to the guy, the hitman guy. Reacher's team being tortured. This is Neely not wanting anyone else to die. Interesting question. Does Neely die? No, Neely doesn't die. So I'm presuming that now I wonder if they're going to do a Neely spin-off because she's a very, very popular character. I could see them doing that because she only appears in a couple more novels, and I don't see them skipping around. I think one of the novels, as a matter of fact, that they did already been adapted by Tom Cruise. So, and they've, if I recall correctly, they've put that one in the past here. Yeah. So, anyway, back to what we're talking about. So, this is Neely being a little melancholy. And this is basically the classic Reacher walking in with the power walk pose. The enemies are confronting each other. I like how she's enraged because she loves him and she's thinking he's in danger. But you you don't want Reacher this close. Because I mean, if you're not going to pull the bullet on him as he's walking in, and by now they know Neely's alive. They have to know that, and they know this guy Reacher plans meticulously. So they know that even if they kill him, he's got a plan. They don't know what that plan is. So, they're in a catch-22 here with that situation, you know. And that's the episode. So obviously, there's going to be a big murder fest in the final thing. You know, we know the good guys win. The question is, does anyone on the Reacher's team die, right? And, you know, so the question you're going to have is, I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, we'll find out. I don't want to speculate too much, you know. Oh, it's a great episode. In my view, it's probably. I mean, there are no really bad episodes of this. I don't remember the range I've given each one. I want to say this is a 9 out of 10. There's a few little points I can knock off for it, but this is the best show on television right now. That's for sure. So, one more episode to go. Everyone stay safe. Have a great weekend. Happy New Year and all that. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike. Share this out down. Share this out down below. Share my video out on either Rumble or YouTube, depending where you're watching it, and help me grow the channel. Thank you guys. I am out of here.